This episode of Catch the Craze is brought to you by.
Welcome to the third installment of my all-ages, family-friendly comedy sci-fi series. For months I've been working tirelessly, putting together not one, not two, but three amazing stories all centered around this one amazing character, Duty, from There's an Alien in My Toilet. And I wanted to say thank you to all of the fans who supported us at the conventions and also on the Kickstarter helping to make it so successful. Now we're back with book 3, and as always we have amazing covers and an amazing story where Duty finally gets into a house and there are humans involved and a chihuahua named Herman. And just in time for Halloween, I bring you Duty's Monsters on Planet Cthulhu. You're not going to want to miss this one. It's one wild ride. But I also have something for the little ones. This is an activity book, a story book filled with adventures, and at the end, your child can write their own story and create their own characters. So thank you for sticking around for the first 2 issues, and I hope you enjoyed this next series of books that I bring you. Your support, your investment means the world to me, and I can't do it without you. Have a great day. Enjoy reading.
Good morning, George. What's going on in the Morning Brew today?
Good morning, everyone. We are going to be talking about vandals. We're going to be talking about injuries, and we're going to be talking about mangakas. So that's coming up next.
That's coming up next. Let's get it. What up? What's up? What's up?
Woo! What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Brew with the Crazee Crew. We're going to be talking about a few things today. But before we do that, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, comment below, hit the bell so you know when we are going live, which is every Thursday morning on this show.
Day.
And yes, right. That's right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I am, streaming live from my vehicle on my way to work. So we're going to be doing this for the next 60 minutes. We're going to be talking to you about different things. Sammy's got a couple of eye-popping news articles that he found this morning. We were talking about right before we came on. Yeah. And of course, on Monday, he had the Craze in 10 or less. So make sure that you check that out. We were talking about mangakas on there, and we're going to be talking about that a little further today. Interesting topic. The manga artists out there. So we're going to be talking about that. And but before we do that, brother, damn, I got to get comfortable in here. My back, my lower back. I'm old. I'm getting old, bro.
Yeah. We're talking about that. And we got some stuff we're going to talk about in a second that's related to that. But sitting down, I've never sat down as long as much as I have since I've tried to become a bookpreneur, right? And so sitting down has been drawing and doing what you love is a blessing, but the curse is the toll it takes on your body, real life is sitting down. And so I was talking to my wife's dad, who was a trucker, and he had a lot of surgeries, back, neck, all that stuff because of just driving trucks. And I'm like, well, what when I think about it, they're in trucks and they're bouncing the whole time, right? The trucks are like whatever, and they're sitting all day. And I get up and it feels like everything is so tight. And like, I'm like, and you got cramps. I'm like, what's going on? So I have to stretch every day. That's why I work out, really, to try to countermeasures to combat it so that my body's strong enough to deal with those long periods. So that's why I'll go out and I'll run in the yard with the dogs and I'll chase them around and I'll play. But I get these pains here and it's crazy. So I'm going to get that head strap that you put on your head and it hangs the weight so you can strengthen your neck. Because my neck is like out of control.
Yeah. Now we're going to be talking about injuries in a few minutes, a little further with that kind of stuff. But all right. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of the Crazy Man as far as your campaign right now, because you do have a campaign on Kickstarter for There's an Alien in My Toilet, issue number 3. If you guys don't know, if you're joining us for the first time, we are independent artists, creators of our own books as well. We have a couple of titles. If you look at the show there, my book is there. The Avengers Wonder Dog. There's an Alien in My Toys at the bottom. But Sammy's got a campaign right now, live on
Yes.
Kickstarter. Have you
Where
pledged?
where are my peoples? So Duty came to Earth. He crash landed. He made a hit. All the feedback was positive. People raving about it. And so George put his prediction out. It's gonna kill it.
Failed.
I
Failed miserably.
Of the Jorge. And
miserably, yeah.
So
kiss of death.
I got excited, from the first two that, I decided I want to add another layer. I want to add like a Halloween special, and I created Duty's Monsters on Planet Cthulhu. And, I love this story. And, I'm just wondering, where's everybody, and because every day I get people signing up. We're over 150 people who have signed up. And every day, every time I look, another person who signed up. And so I would love for you to pull the trigger. I would love for you to, you don't have to worry. They don't take the money out for 3 more weeks. I would love for you to put the trigger. I'd love to get funded. I'd love to be able to sleep at night. I would love for you to read it. And it's fun for all of us, all ages, and I know that for some reason, all ages is a trigger word. And, for, the guys who think, well, I'm too cool to be reading all ages. No, you're not. It's all ages. It's fun. And, get yourself a copy. Today I'm going to be putting out a new bundle. It's the Halloween bundle, and it's just going to be centered around monsters. And so look out for that on the update. It's going to be fun. But if you pledge today during this live stream, I'll add a free Duties Monsters bookmark to your basket. And it's a brand new bookmark. No one's ever seen it before. It's really cool. I really like it. And just by pledging today. And if it's a physical pledge, you'll get it physically. If it's digital, you get a digital copy. But yeah, I'd love to be funded this weekend. I do want to say shout out to the podcasters that showed some love. Dustin Brunel, JD Calderon, Laura Calcaterras, Pops Van Zant,
Lori Calcaterra.
Lori, Nerds of the Rounds, Seabass.
Yes.
Thank you so much all for, I went on the rooftop. I was like, hoo, and they came calling, and they were like, yo, we got you. We're gonna, and I just asked for 5 minutes, but they're giving me, full slot. So that's awesome. So thank you so much for allowing me to join your streams. And I know how difficult it is running a podcast, and then, someone coming from left and saying, yo, but I've never done that. I've never asked anybody last minute. And for those of you who made the accommodations, I truly appreciate you. I'll never forget that. And but yes, I'm just trying to get the word out. And if anything you guys can do to help get the word out, and and get Duty going. I mean, he is a lovable, adorable character. I love him with, I mean, look at it. The book is ready. This is the proof. The book is ready. This is the proof. The pages are done. It's fully colored. And Duty's Monsters, the interiors are gloss. So it's different from the other books where it was like semi-gloss. The interiors are gloss. And look at the here's Duty variant cover. That's done. There's the proof. Aichi Wawa, the main cover. Boom, Duty sneaking across the hallway. There's Herman like, hey, there's so. And there's the other cover B. And then for the little ones, for the kids, for 4-year-olds, you get Duty's Adventures. This is an interactive, fun story for all the kids. And then for the artist in you, any artist, this is easy, portable to carry, 5x9. The custom Duty sketchbook, get yourself a copy. And if you have a little one that you're going to give this to, I will sketch them with Duty on the first page as a thank you for picking it up. So a lot to offer with Duty. It's a fun, full adventure for everybody. So join the party. Hold on a second.
Yeah. No doubt. And if you haven't done so yet, please check out my website at getyourmeds.com for all of my books that are on there at this point. Sam, when is your campaign over? The Alien, There's an Alien in My Toilet.
It ends on the 20th of October, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right. So you have a few days left, but don't wait. Make sure you pledge. And like I said, just check out my website as well. I have a few things on there for you guys, my books, t-shirts, things of that nature. I'll have updates as to shows that I want to be doing in the next coming year. You have a show coming up, don't you? In
Oh,
October?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So,
You have a
yes, we're
show.
gonna be in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeehaw! Join me in a couple of weeks on the 14th through the 16th. I will be at the Dallas Fan Festival, and so join me there, downtown Dallas. And then right after that, the week after, I'll be at the Cowtown Comic Con on the 22nd and 23rd. And so for the campaign will be ended, but I printed a big run of the books, so I will have them available at those cons because I already printed them. I already paid for the printing, so I'm waiting for this book to be funded. As soon as the book is funded, as soon as I get that check, it's shipped, it's out the door. So it's ready to go. Everything is ready to go, 100%. That the only delay is going to be, and that's why I had them printed early because I don't want to be waiting for the printers to send me the stuff to send it to you. The only other delay would be is if the skies open up and they get an influx of orders, and then the orders are more than what I printed, then I have to print more. But outside of that, I don't foresee any problems with getting everything to you guys. I try to anticipate this. I want to get it to you, in time for the holidays. I want to ship it out, in November, so you can get it before Thanksgiving, so you can enjoy it. Boom, and then you don't have to hear from me till January.
Yeah, man. There's yeah, I mean the running a campaign is no easy task.
No,
And
there's no
it
easy way
is
out.
it is 30 days, 30 days of just work every day doing
30
different
days of
things.
fresh of
Yeah.
yeah, it's a mental war
It is.
thing that
It
goes on.
is. It is. It is. It's not easy, man. I'm telling you. We talked about that a few shows ago. Just the stress that it causes you because it doesn't sound like much. Is it? Hey, man, it's just a campaign. Like no, but it's it's your livelihood.
Yeah,
You think about am I good enough? Like you start doubting yourself. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. We're humans. It gets us. No matter how tough you think you are, deep down inside, the ego, and even more, just it just hits you. Like it's like, yo, why am I doing this kind of thing? You start questioning it.
yeah,
So it's not easy. You put yourself out there, and rejection is hard to take sometimes. But it's not over. Listen, there's 3 weeks left of the campaign, and so make sure that if you haven't done so yet, take the time right now if you want, to go pledge and come back and check us out as we continue the show. But yeah, Sammy. So what do you got? What do you got in news of the day kind of thing?
the
Because
first one
I haven't been able to do any of
is,
that.
yeah, the first one's really bad. It's horrible.
What do you got?
And
What do you got?
let me get this split screen. So the first one is this one right here, and I'm not
Okay.
going to play the audio, but apparently in Bucks County, PA. So it'll show the two guys. So if anybody recognizes that, call you law enforcement. I don't know if they caught the guys. Two men wanted for beating, robbing beloved Bucks County comic store owner. So what they did was, I'll tell you because I'm not gonna, I won't, I don't know if I can play the audio because of the YouTube stuff. But what they did was they asked the man to climb the ladder, the store owner, who is 61 years old. And they said they wanted the action figure at the top of the ladder. And when he got to the top, they kicked the ladder from underneath him, and he fell. And then they started beating him and punching him. They put a knife to his throat. They bound him and gagged him, and they got off with about $16,000 worth of goods. So let me
Damn.
make sure that the thing is muted. No, it is right there. It is. Boom. I'm gonna play that right there. She's gonna be talking about that. Let me see. What's that?
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah,
I still hear it.
yeah. I did it purpose.
Oh, I thought you were muting it.
We sell comics, action figures, music even. Comic Collection has been a haven for hobbyists for nearly 40 years. Founder Dave Schwartz is known to his customers as the sovereign of eclectic treasures from eras past and present. You name it, we have it. 2 Sundays ago, the 61-year-old was alone doing inventory in his Feasterville shop around 4 p.m. when 2 men wearing masks walked in. I've never seen them in here before. Video shows the pair asking Dave to grab a statue off the top shelf. They got me to go up there, and as I'm grabbing, then they pushed the ladder out underneath me, and I came down. I was down, and they proceeded to come in and kick away, and they were stomping on me pretty good.
Dave's ribs were shattered, and nearly 2 weeks after, bruises are still very visible on his face, arms, and abdomen. The attackers then zip-tied Dave's hands and feet as one of the men pulled out a knife.
Well, he put it to my face and said, "Do you want to live?" And I said, "Yeah." I just nodded my head.
The thieves stuffed more than $16,000 worth of merchandise into duffel bags as Dave remained bound and bleeding. 45 minutes later, a neighbor spotted the men running off and called police.
People in this neighborhood do look out for each other.
Dave's already back to work, accompanied now by friends who aren't letting this self-dubbed stubborn Gus be here solo anymore. As his attackers remain on the run, Dave's hoping someone may know who and where they are.
That's crazy. So
Damn, they haven't caught him yet? Jeez.
Oh, so that's crazy. And it's like, come on. I mean, what's it come to now that you're going to, why do you have to hurt people? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, why do you? That's just. I'm just. If you're in PA and you recognize those guys, call the authorities. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, seriously, bro. That's freaking nuts. That is insane, dude. Fucking 16-year-old man, dude. Like, what are you guys doing? Yo, $16,000 of worth of merchandise?
Yeah.
Holy cow, man. That's nuts.
That means they stole all the action figures or whatever. You know how sometimes they'll put the high value comics
in the back.
They probably took those as well.
Came down, yep.
If I don't know. They all have serious. I don't know if he had it inventoried, and I don't know if he had an inventory system, because sometimes the older comic shops don't have that kind of database where you bring them in, because a lot of those statues have unique serial numbers. So if he had that in a database and you try to sell it, and you give that stuff to law enforcement, hopefully that comes up.
Right. Yeah. Oof. That is insane. That is crazy, bro. Crazy.
That is nuts. But yeah, so that I woke up to that. I saw that. I was like, oh. But then on the positive note, a bunch of friends opened up a comic shop in Waco, Texas, and the article states, let's see right here. The article says, during the recession, people often put money into things like real estate and silver, but how about comic books and sports memorabilia? The owner of a brand new comic shop in downtown Waco says that during uncertain economic times, customers are coming to them invest in something that has financial and nostalgic value. So they want to go back to the days when they were kids, when they held their first baseball card. See, that's why you need duty, and collect them all, and the cards and collectibles. They've got the money now. They're all grown up, and so that's so shout out to them. What is the name of the comic shop? Let me see on the video if it shows what the comic shop is. I don't want to see that commercial. Let me hit mute. All right, I can't. We got to see that. I just want to find out the name of the comic shop. Okay, let's see. Function unmute. All right. Here. They don't show the Outsider store? I mean, the fixtures look great. Oh, collect them cards and collectibles. That's what it's called.
Kid looks angry.
Because I want to go play with my PS5 or whatever it is.
Kid's like, open up the doors already.
Yes. Oh, that kid's straight out of the 70s with that hairdo.
Oh, that's the style nowadays, kid.
Yo, he has that style from that comic for yesterday that we interviewed.
Kids are letting their hair grow, bro. Like, kids are really, that's like the thing.
Everything goes back. Everything goes back. It's like it's cyclical, right? It's everything like trending, the styles. Like you always, for some reason, the 70s always creeps up. Because I mean, there was nothing cooler than the bell bottoms, the platform shoes.
I don't know about that, dog.
The collar shirts with the tailored blazer.
We're gonna agree to disagree on that bad boy.
Dancing.
Bell bottoms. Nothing cooler than bell bottoms. I don't know about that, dog.
No,
I don't know about
when
that.
I put up those bell bottoms, I feel like a superhero.
Really? You walk different. You walk different. Yeah, your voice gets higher.
I know, because it's tight.
Stuff is a little tight. Stuff is a little tight. Holy cow! Nah, that's cool though, man.
Yeah.
Somebody's opening up a comic book shop.
That is dope. I mean, that's
nice.
one more for the hopefully an indie community can get into another location. So every time that's keeping the legacy alive. When you open up another comic shop, that means there's a chance for comics. It's still.
Now here's a question though. What do you think they're going to sell more? They're going to sell more comics,
yeah,
or
the baseball cards.
Yeah,
that's the moneymaker. The comics is not going to be the profit making machine.
That's what sucks. That's what sucks, man. Like, how do we make that the moneymaker? You know, like how do we turn that? It's tough. I don't even.
You
know
need
how
superstars. The problem is.
I guess.
The problem is, I think what happens with comics, you need, for some reason, since the Marvel era, not Marvel, the Image era, those guys, they embraced the rock star status, right? They loved it. They were in the media. They were out there. They were high-fiving. They were relatable. And it was great is that there was like somebody that represented somebody. You know what I mean? It was awesome. I think since then, the companies made a big effort to squash putting a face in front of the brand. You know what I'm saying? So there's no momentum there or there's no interest from the big boys to put somebody ahead of the Marvel symbol. You're not going to be bigger than Marvel. You can't be bigger than the organization. And I think that's the problem. And it's going to take another. What's up, D?
What up, D?
It's going to take those new trendsetters to come out of left field. That's going to be like bypass that whole system, because after that whole image thing, Marvel and DC, the big boys, made a big effort to just squash all that. We're not going to have rock stars that's going to come out here and change the game and take away from our profit. So I think that's what it is. Unfortunately, people relate to people. The product is a byproduct of the person. So when they like you, I mean, they loved when Rob Liefeld did that MTV commercial. That was it. Everyone's like, oh, and he didn't care about his art style. They didn't care about
I didn't like. That's what I'm saying. I was
the comics.
Yeah, but I didn't like Rob Liefeld's artwork, and I wasn't a fan of Rob Liefeld.
I picked up everything he did.
No, I know you did.
There was a point. There was a point where it got diluted, and I stopped. But
I think the reason why they were rock stars in the industry was because of the sales of their books.
Because of
that's what made it. That's what made them rock stars. Not them. People didn't know who they were. They knew what they drew, and then they knew who they were. So it wasn't the other way around. So if today, for example, you have an artist and you put them out into the people, unless you read comics, they're not gonna know who they are because the sales aren't there. You see what I'm saying? The sales have to be there in order for those guys to be the superstars that they were. The sales were there for Todd McFarlane. The sales were there for Rob, Jim, Valentino, Mark. Like they were like the sales spoke for themselves. Like they sold books. Now that they sell books, the people want to know who are the people behind these books. There isn't that today. Nobody, the books don't sell, so nobody cares who's behind them.
The people that have that opportunity to be that are like the Brian Politas of the world, who he put the brand before him, right? So it's really about Lady Death and the business than him. But if he had the right PR person to say, "I want to flip this because we want to bring in more revenue, we want to bring in more eyes. We're gonna push you out there. Your story is fascinating. Everybody, you are the American story. You are that grind to success story. We're gonna push that forward, and that's gonna bring in additional sales compounded on top of that, right?" Jay Parker, who's a fantastic artist, if he had the right PR person, but they're focusing on the property versus them, and I think that's the reason. I think people relate to people. Their products sell really, really, really well, but it would do so much more under the right circumstances, and I think that's what it is. And
so you're saying they should put the artist in front of the people to
When you
help
have
the
someone like
sales of the
yeah,
book.
when you have somebody with that momentum, yes. So
Yeah.
those are cases you can justify that you can say, let's look at these guys' stories. Number one, they have fascinating stories. Let's look at what they've generated on their own based on the brand that they created without that machine. Now let's put a machine behind it and let's see what we can do. But there's not that drive to do it right now. It's just people just trying to get their product out there, and they're just trying to get work and just tell stories and have successful campaigns. I think, and so that's where you need that extra. I think the machine behind those guys was the story was you had a bunch of rebels that decided to leave the big boys, right? And that was all you needed. Headline: Artists leave Marvel to form their own brand. That itself was like everybody went. They dropped the X-Men and said, "Let me go and check this out," and they went over, right? And then they started scooping it up, but they still picked up the X-Men, but they were following these guys as well. And so I think that's and
The
and they played on it, and they played on it because every
yeah.
time you turn the channel, you saw them.
The irony of that is though that you can argue that that's what killed comics as well.
No, I don't think that's
Because what happens is you're never going to get to those numbers anymore.
right.
You're never that was the height of like what's like some of these books are not even worth what they were supposed to be worth because they
Mhm.
printed so many of them. How many number one spawns are out there? There's no value in that. I agree with Sam. Having a star out front makes the industry relatable and give people someone to look up to, and that isn't there. I think part of it too is the stories that are being told. There's a lot of controversy within these stories, and it's almost like a negative controversy. You know what I mean? People are so divided on what the stories that they're telling are that they refuse to even just buy the stories at all. Like it doesn't drive anybody to go buy them. Like you watch a lot of these YouTube channels where they break down, all these messages within the stories that people don't want to hear. People just want to go buy a comic book and enjoy the read, not be kind of, I guess, focus on what's happening outside in the real world in the comics, which they did. Like back in the day, some comics did do that. Don't get me wrong, there were comics that did do that, that had those statements in them, but for some reason we were able to kind of like just enjoy the book at the same time. There's just so much going on in the industry right now that it's kind of sad, man, because it's killing it for like books like what we're trying to do, right? Like in my toilet, like the all ages books that we talk about, right? People want the extreme stuff now. That's what's selling. So I
Well,
don't.
I think I
It's
think
tough.
what happens is you have those who know exactly what they want, and then you have those who follow trends, right? So, and everything is again, it's like a roller coaster. It's up and downs, right? So, one day it's gonna be. I mean, remember the time that the goth books, the
Yeah.
alternative comics were like, were like what's going on? They're like taking over, and you had they all had this
Trends,
this
yeah, trends, yeah.
Tim Burton style look to art of it, and everyone was doing that. So that
It definitely
everything,
did kill comics because everyone thought that those sales, if not increased, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It killed it. It
right?
killed it. They
And I
thought that
think
it would, and it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I think what killed comics wasn't the fact that they printed so many of those. I think what killed it was they were putting out a lot. They're watering down with all these other titles that didn't have life to it. They didn't really have personality to it, and so they flooded the market with all these variant covers and titles instead of just saying, "I get it. I printed out for number one and sold 1 million copies. Great." When you go on to number two, but then when you have 5,000 variant covers and you got to get every cover and you got to do this, that I think that's what watered down the whole.
No, but to Dan's point, and what I was saying about how they killed it is if you have tons of number ones, right? Think about comics. When you talk about a comic book person, you say, I collect comics. I don't
Mhm.
buy comics, I collect comics. When you collect something, you're collecting something that's one of a kind in a sense. So the fact that there aren't that many, amazing Spider-Mans, number ones, or amazing fantasies, number one is what gives it its value. That's what
Mhm.
makes that comic valuable is how little of those comics there are. When there are too many of those books out there, and you're right about the watering down. They just started cranking them out, right? Boom, let me just crank them out. But those number ones are no longer valuable because there's too many of them,
Yeah.
and the value of that comic has been diminished. And so the value of the comic book industry as a whole now is like, well, I can always go get that in the 50-cent bin now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no value to the comic itself. And I think that was part of it back in the 90s. And listen, I lived through the 90s. I loved that era, bro. The comic books were packed. Comic book stores were packed with
It was
kids
our hangout spot.
buying. Dude, it was insane.
It was
Every
there
day.
in Starbucks.
Oh, it was Starbucks.
Yeah, remember we sang at a Starbucks one time.
Oh yeah, but that was like 2000s. No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the 90s.
Oh, the 90s. Yeah.
The 90s.
When we went to Midtown together,
It
the
was
90s.
like 03, 04.
It was before. Yes, it
05.
was me. It was me and Rob. So it was
Yeah,
me
you
and
guys
Rob.
probably. Yep.
Where would we go? We would go to Pronto's Pizza. We got kicked out a few times.
Right.
They said you couldn't sit here unless you always had to have food on the table.
Yeah, but like I said, so the era of that image era, what do you think? It was like what, 92 through 96, 97, you think?
Yeah, it was
right.
So, like 4-year run.
It was about that amount of time. Yeah, man. But you know what? And just transitioning over to what we were talking about for Monday, the artists and the stars that they are. When you look at manga, for example, those guys are, well, the guys that have the names are superstars. Yes. But then there are other unsung heroes behind the scenes. And you spoke about these guys, the manga artists that, work tirelessly every single day to create these books.
Yeah.
And that's insane, dude. Insane.
Insane and the brain.
Holy cow. When I was seeing that thing, do you have the thing that you had, what was it, the schedule?
Yeah, hold on. I'm getting some stuff up.
Yeah. Oh man, that was nuts. And for those who don't know, we're going to be talking about mangakas or mangakas or mangakas.
Yeah, so this is a manga. This is a mangaka or mangaka that he's already established foundation, consistency. He's making a lot more money, so he's able to hire. These are all his assistants. Right, so he's able to hire assistants. So he has people who can do shading. He has people who can do lettering. Let's see, what's it? He says, also remember that Wizard pushed image guys. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Wizard played a huge.
Wizard was big on that.
For comics was the source magazine for hip hop.
Yes,
it was just like it was fantastic.
We lost that. That's true, man. That's something that's missing. Is those magazines? That media.
I don't think anybody knows how to tap into that anymore. Because it's
print, because print is dead. That's why print is dying. That's the reason why they died. I know.
If you're just starting out, you don't have assistants. You're going to be doing what that guy's doing, and as a mangaka and manga.
Let's call manga artists.
Yeah, whatever. And so. Mangaka, yes, that's right.
Mangaka. I just don't know where the accent is.
Mangaka, there it is.
No, mangaka.
Yeah, I did already this morning. But
wow, this kid said mangaka. Wow.
So yeah. So that you're gonna be doing what this guy does, right? Or what all these guys do, because you're.
I can't even see that. What the heck?
You're grinding for the big boy. Oh, yeah, I got to zoom in. So here's what a mangaka's schedule looks like. Let me see if I can zoom. All right, there you go. All right. So this is what the schedule looks like. And I did this on the Craze Nintendo list. If you missed that episode, check it out.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, so look at Sunday. He only slept 2 hours on Sunday. I can't. Now, mind you, so he slept 2 hours. It was 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So 8 a.m. he had breakfast. So from 9 a.m. through 6 a.m. through
you did this on the show too.
Through 8 a.m. the next day, he had two 2-hour meetings, plus he was drawing the whole time, right? Then finally being able to sleep for 7 hours and then get up for lunch. Mind you, he hasn't eaten since the day before, 24 hours ago. He's having lunch the next day, draws coloring for 5 hours and then have dinner and then color straight through the next morning and then sleep. I mean, that was
Saturday's a good day. He has some free time on Saturday.
Yeah, 3 hours. I mean, what do you do that free time? Sleep. Yeah, I don't know what that free time is between I got to meet my deadlines because final manuscript due day is that Friday. So it's when I looked at that schedule, I was like, wow, it's impressive and it's scary at the same time. You think about the guys, what they put themselves through to make an income and do what they love to do.
There's a term in Japan, and I can't remember the Japanese term, but it basically translates to death by overwork. And there's been people who have suffered from that. And I think the Japanese government, as of 2018, maybe, I think they passed a law that said that certain industries couldn't do that to their employees. Now I don't know if these guys, I mean, obviously they call it voluntary enslavement because they volunteer to do these things because
Yeah.
they want to be artists. This is what they want to do, and so this is what they do. The creator and the writer and artist, I guess, of Hunter x Hunter,
Mhm.
that manga, he's known for the long hiatuses in between
Yeah.
his book, and
Yeah.
it's because of his health issues. he
Yeah.
he has hip and back problems. He can't
Yeah.
sit down and draw. He lays down and draws.
Yeah, I'm
So
saving
his
up
book,
to get me, an orthopedic chair
yes,
because this
yeah,
the gaming chairs suck.
yeah, they're no good.
It's no good for your body.
Yeah, but his book has sold like 84 million copies of that book in Japan. Like the level of success that you can make, like is I think what drives these kids to continue to do that, to continue to put their bodies through that stuff. But it's insane, bro, insane.
Yeah, it
They were
is.
talking. They were talking about he slept 3 hours, right? He would sleep 3 hours, but that's not a full 3 hours. That's like 30-minute naps in between work that added to 3 hours. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
No, do you know how cranky I get if I don't get at least do at least 5 hours minimum? Um, I can make it through with 5 hours minimum. Anything less than that, I am cranky. I'm like, I'm irritable. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's like because your eyes are still burning, and it's like, oh man, so these guys, the way they do it, it's a whole nother level.
yeah. No, for sure. It's
Yeah,
very
it's very
close to your physical and
I
mental health, though.
realized that we were talking about it, when I never sat as much since I decided to be a brokepreneur, and then I realized I'm getting neck pains, I'm getting leg pains, I'm like all these pains that I'm like, so I have to work out. I force myself every day to work out to try to keep my muscles strong to counter these problems that I'm getting just from sitting and
Yeah,
drawing and
yeah.
podcasting.
Yeah, good morning, Brandon. Thank you for joining us this morning, brother. But yeah, no, I think that and part of it is, why do they do it, right? It's for us. It's for the consumer. It's so that we can have those 20 pages every week, so we can read them. So we can, and then we can tear it apart because we don't like it, or we do like it, or we love it, or we don't love it. Like, that's why they do it. And it's almost a thankless job when you
Mhm.
think about it. They're like little gladiators. Are you not entertained? Like, they go out there and they beat their bodies down for us. And I think we gotta think about that sometimes when we're ripping these books up and saying how crappy it is and all this other stuff. There's a lot of work that goes behind these things that these guys literally are killing themselves for.
I mean, it's a
Killing
billion-dollar
themselves.
industry, manga, and
Yeah.
so everyone's trying to break into that, and only again, there's a few that rise to the top where they can call their own shots and their own schedules and do all this stuff, whatever, and then there's the soldiers, the foot soldiers.
So I was watching. I was reading something where they make about $8,000 a month, which you would think that's some decent amount of money, like 8,000 a month. It's not bad, right? But it's before taxes, and that's before they pay their assistants. Now, these are the high guys, so that's before they pay their assistants.
Mhm.
And if you think about the amount of hours that they work, when you break that down, it's really not all that much money because you're working so many hours a day. You're working 7 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even almost 24 hours you're working.
Yes.
What are you working? 20, what, 21 hours out of the 24 because you're sleeping 3?
Yes.
So is $8,000 really enough for you to do that? It sounds like a lot, but when you break
Well,
that down,
and that there's a trend happening, right? So here's what happened in the US, right? The youngins are saying they want work-life balance and they don't want to do all these or whatever.
the young ones.
So what they did was they're paying the executives, the management teams more money, but they're demanding more hours from them. So instead of the minimum, it used to be 40-hour work weeks, it's really 45 hours because you take out the lunch, right? So they raised it to 55-hour work week, right? And then I see in all these job descriptions, they stipulate, you know, our executive team are successful because they don't look at the clock and they put in the time that
Wow.
necessary. So they're expecting they're going to pay you more, but they're expecting you to wear, number one, they're downsizing, right? So they're cutting other roles and
Yeah.
they're absorbing all those roles into one, and they're expecting you. So when you look at the job description and you read them, you're required to be HR, finance, management, all these things in one and on call. And I'm like, where's the work-life balance? And no wonder your
There is
turnover
none.
is so high. No wonder people constantly leaving. It's because you're burning people on both ends of the candle. That's it.
Yeah.
It is thankless. People will criticize these books, the art saying not detailed enough, or why no color. People don't you have to keep in mind that they have to get it done in a
In a
week. Yeah,
week, in
in a
a
week.
week, bro, in a week. And that book that I'm telling you about, Hunter x Hunter, you're talking about 400 chapters. That's 8,800 pages about that he's done. Like, I'm like, how do you have 400 chapters of a book? We talk about, Todd did a great thing as an independent, doing, 300, reaching issue number 300, or issue where he's up to, like 320, 325 now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But he didn't do that all by himself. You know what I mean? He had a team of people do it, split up. Like, some people did it, then somebody else took over. So it's been spread out. This is done by one guy. You know what I mean? He has assistants, whatever, but he's done by one guy. And that's what's crazy about the manga, because it does come out every week. Now, granted, there are no color, like you said, there's no color in it, but some of these stories, bro, like there's something about these stories that are great, and they're different, and it's why we love them. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. It is crazy. It's nuts.
It is. So when you think you got it tough. Check. Go look. Just look at your brothers out there that are grinding. They got it tough. Because
Yeah.
they're just making ends meet.
And you know what it is too, bro? Like, when you think about the Japanese culture, it's a collective culture. It's about the
Community.
collective. It's
Yeah.
never about the person. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. They're very disciplined that way. So they're all about the team. So they're gonna go hard for the team no matter what. It's because they don't care about the individual accolades, and that's part of, because they're wired that way.
Yeah.
They
Because
can't
when
they
one
they
wins,
can
everyone wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, they can't undo that, because that's the way they've been raised. We've been raised a little different here in the States, where, like, it's like, hey, man.
Individual achievement.
Yeah,
Forget
yeah,
about your
yeah, yeah,
family. Forget
exactly.
about this. Forget about
Accolades.
that. They don't understand you. Go for yours at all costs. You
It's
know what I mean?
different.
And so
It's
next thing you're
different.
standing there and you're wondering why you're at the bar by yourself, wallowing in self pity. You need a therapist because you don't have that foundation. You don't have that
Speak on
family.
it.
Yeah, you're out there, taking some sort of substance, chronic, like because
Chronic.
I wanted success and I
I
don't have
gotta.
family, I don't have friends,
Damn.
right? So it's like you need that foundation, you need that family, you need that structure. I remember that organization, Focus on the Family. When I was a kid, I used to get that literature. It used to be about the family, but
Yeah.
now everyone's trying to bypass that. Don't have kids; they're gonna hold you down. Don't get married; it's gonna hold you down.
Damn.
Go for yours. I'm like, oh my god! And next year, you're not relatable, you're antisocial, you're a jerk in most people's eyes because you were so focused on going after your own dream. That's the consequence of listening to that propaganda that broke up the home.
Yeah. Wow, Sammy. All right.
Just
Speak
saying.
on it, my brother.
I know,
Speak
don't,
on it.
don't get me on my horse.
Jeez. Holy cow. He's like, let me tell you how I really feel. Oh,
No, right?
man, that's
Let
awesome.
me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Oh, snap. Yeah, man. Nah, listen. When you look, everybody, sometimes you think, oh, man, I have it rough. And then you look at something like this and you're like, whoa, okay, maybe I don't. What you got there? It's a little close to.
You got real.
Say it got real, son. Holy snap. Wow. All right. Segue to this. Good luck with that.
With that.
Damn. Where do we go from here? Jeez.
I didn't know that was all bent up in there.
You're right.
No
You're
matter.
right. I'll like, give me a hug. Bring it
I
in.
know, right?
Bring it in. Bring it in here. Bring it in.
Pepperucci.
Bring it in, buddy. Bring it in. Come here. Come here. Oh, snap. No. But no, that was crazy, bro. That was crazy. When you were talking about that, I didn't realize what went into all of that stuff. I saw them where, like, they sleep in these like homes, almost like a frat house
Yeah,
of just
it's one room.
artists,
It's
right?
it's like
Yeah.
it's almost it's an apartment complex, but
Yeah.
everybody has a room, like
It's
their
like a
own
dorm.
bedroom, and
Yeah.
they share the bathroom, they share the kitchen. It's a common space, and it's part of the program that Japan has put in place for aspiring manga artists, and so they have that, and but their diet sucks. When you look at
Diet sucks.
their
Yeah.
diet sucks, and that there's no activities like go and play racquetball, bro. Get on your bike and go bike riding. It's like there's no activities. They put on their flip flops and they stop flip back to work. It's like
Flip, flip, flip back to work.
it's like come on, go play.
Yo,
They were asking the guy. They go, what are you doing? Like he had his free time and he was writing his own comic
uh-oh.
on his free time, working,
Uh-oh.
drawing, and writing his own comic on one of the documentaries I was watching. It's like, yo, can't you break away? But what happens? It becomes their DNA. Like I was talking to a friend of mine. My wife and I went to Arizona, and we have this big giant bed in our bungalow that we had, and I'm on the corner, and I'm sleeping on the corner, and I realize why am I in the corner on this big bed? It's because I've been sleeping in the corner for over 20 years because we have a king size, but my dogs come on the bed, and my wife, they all take up 90%, and I'm always at the other end, like, and I'm 6'2", but I'm conditioned to do that. So the guy that, he's like, I'm going to go and draw another comic for myself. He's conditioned. He doesn't know how to break away from this. I didn't know how to relax and spread out because I'm used to just turning on my side on the corner with like 12 inches, I'm surprised it never fell, but it's like, it's one of those things that it's hard to break away from habit. He's already formed a habit.
Yeah,
And
he's good. Yeah, they do. And going back to the guy, and I can't remember his name, and Hunter, the creator of that book, the hiatuses he takes, I think number one, it's for health issues, but number two, he's got two kids, so good for him. Like he was able to start, and he's actually married to the creator of Sailor Moon.
Wow.
They're married. Yeah, they're married together, and so these hiatuses, but the book still sells. Like they wait for it, and it goes to show how good his story is, and that's, I think, to me, that's the motivating factor. That's that one day you can be that popular with the fan base, and that's, I think, what drives these guys. That one day I can be that guy who created Hunter x Hunter. I can be, Dragon Ball Z. I can be like that. I can be that. Because everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
And so, I have a lot of friends in the video game industry. Game designers are the same way. Work in gaming when not working. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I also think about the CGI artists in some of these shows that I'm sure are putting in crazy hours to get all of this stuff done. And then we rip them for how how bad the CGI looked on She-Hulk. Look how bad that CGI is. And it's like these guys probably had no time to put all that stuff together. And this is what they're doing. And they're working probably crazy hours to get it done because the studio is forcing them to say, hey, man, we need this out. We need to write this right now. So get it done. And, we forget about that sometimes. And I think we gotta he's up, but we're expecting high quality now. Like you've teased us, you've given us good stuff. We need more of that good stuff. And when we don't get it, that's when we turn on the artist. And it's like, not fair.
I'm not digging the soundtrack for Andor.
Yeah. That man probably worked hard.
I know. I was like, I don't understand. I was like, the Mandalorian soundtrack is on a whole nother level. The Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, these soundtracks are like on a whole nother level. They bring you in. They capture your emotion. I mean, think about X-Files, that theme song. It's like all that stuff adds to the mystique and the draw of the series. And with this one, it just sounds like just regular. They just filler music. I don't feel the excitement with the music. I like the story. I'm enjoying the series, but I didn't know. I'm like, come on, really?
Damn, son. I like the soundtrack. It's funny. At first, I didn't like the Mandalorian soundtrack. I was like, that sounds too much like Rocky to me. Like you just ripped off.
I don't see the Rocky.
I'm telling you, listen to that thing. It's got it almost.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. It's got that Rocky feel to it. And then at first, I was like, I'm not feeling that. But it grew on me. But Andor, I loved
it from the beginning. Maybe because it was relatable.
It was something that reminded you.
I was like, why am I working out watching?
Yeah, like I'm ready to go lift some rocks. What the hell's going on? Yeah, no, it was like that. But it was because I was like, damn, that reminds me of Rocky too much. But I enjoyed the series, and I am liking Andor. I do like Andor. I like it. I like it a lot. It's crazy with the for example, another example of that. You said that Game of Thrones. There, Mando's flying high now. Yeah. Yeah.
Flying high now.
No, I was gonna say, like, the theme song for the Game of Thrones is awesome, right? The opening theme, it's great. I hate the fact that they're using it for the new series. I'm like, why couldn't they just come up with their own?
Because they want to keep it consistent to the
They
mistake.
wanted, yeah, and they wanted you to keep watching because it's like, yo, but I don't know,
Because you
man.
don't have
Just
Khaleesi anymore. You have Jon Snow, which is why they're doing Jon Snow his own
John's,
series.
yeah, he's got his own
I
series.
can't wait. Jon
Well,
Snow, the
coming
White
out, right?
Wolves. That's
Jon
what.
Snow.
Oh, get
That
him
was a great
soon.
character. Great
He
character.
was perfect for the role.
Yeah, he
You
was
know,
good.
you
Yeah.
you watched him. I mean, when you look at the first season to how he grew and he's aged out, he was getting older and the experiences and how he was like finding his place in that world. And I mean, when they killed him off, I think it destroyed everybody. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
I
you
wonder
know.
if that's in the book that he comes back. I wonder if that, or if they did that for the show because they were like, yo, we can't kill Jon Snow. He's got to come back.
I
We
know,
can't kill him.
I
I don't
know.
know. I've never read the book. So if anybody read, the Game of Thrones, does Jon Snow die and does he come back? Because he came back in the show. And I
Yeah.
think it's because of, like you said, the popularity of the
And
character, the popularity of the thing.
when he hung the three people that killed him,
Mm.
oh, the kid we just looked at him with a stone face, like he was still wasn't like he was pissed at him. I was like, that kid was vicious. And then he hung him. I was like, oh, I think
That kid was
the most
vicious.
celebrated. There was two celebrated moments for me was when King Joffrey was poisoned,
That was good.
and with what was the name of the guy who cut off what's his
Oh
name's
yeah, that dude was. I can't
him
remember his name. Yeah. Oh,
when
bro,
they
he
fed
was
him to the
nuts.
wolves.
He was nuts,
When they
bro.
fed him to the wolves, bro. I was like, he got exactly what he deserved. It was like, but I believe you should go the way what you did to somebody.
Yeah.
It should
Eye
happen.
for an eye. Eye for an
Yeah,
eye.
I believe in eye for an eye. I think you
Yeah,
got to
man.
feel it. That's why, like, for people who are cruel to animals, I would love to be them to be put into a pit with starving animals, and because you should get exactly what you be putting out there. That's just the way I feel. Sorry, I just get off my high horse.
Sam is on it today. Sam's on. I don't know what you had for breakfast, but you are on it today. You got things to get off your chest.
Yo, it's like, what's
Pledge,
going on with those?
pledge
You're
to his
robbing old
campaign,
men
please.
at a comic store. You're acting up. It's like, come on.
Pledge to this and then in my toilet, guys, please. Sam's losing it right now.
Get a copy of this in my toilet. Come on, you want to
Make
laugh
her
with
feel
me.
better. Make
This
her
is
feel
why I
better.
create all ages books because I
Make her
like to laugh.
smile.
That
Yeah,
other stuff
make her
just brings
smile.
out too much of hostility. Oof, it's getting my blood pressure. It's like,
Yeah,
oh.
seriously. Oh man, but yeah, we're winding down. Listen, thank you guys for watching this show. What's going on tomorrow? Oh no, tonight you're gonna be
Ray Felix.
JD Rosario.
Well, before that, 7
But
o'clock,
before that, yeah,
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me and Ray Felix. We're going to be talking about what happened with his Kickstarter, and then I'm going to be, walking through how to format your Kickstarter with Ray online. So join us for that. That'll be live. And then at 8 p.m., I'm joining JD Rosario for his. He invited us to come on his show to launch his Kickstarter. And so I was like, look, you called, we answered. And so we're going to show up and help him celebrate the launch of his campaign. Sam's going to be the Punisher against the animal cruelty people. That's right.
he's just gonna show up
That's right.
with a bunny and a shirt. And
Yeah,
start
I was talking to the university the other day, and it's just crazy. I found myself sitting there because I've seen so many animal cruelties. I was like, hey, to the universe. I said, whatever happens in my next life, put me on a planet where it's just animals and I have to protect them. And just give me the tools to be able to protect them from any opposing force that comes to the planet to try to harm them. I said, that's all you need to do. And I'll take care of it. But give me the resources to be able to do that. I said, because this is their planet as well. And we act as if they're just some lower class species. And but you know what? The love that you get, the unconditional love that you get from animals is on a whole nother level. And so give me that opportunity and I'll do what I need to do to make sure that they don't get harmed. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's
that'll
it.
be my next. I'll write my duty stories and now I'm just like, stay away from this planet.
Stay away. Stay away. Walk away from the dog. Step away from the dog, bro. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it, man. No.
Don't touch it. That's it. That's
Don't
it.
do it in front of me either.
But yeah, no. So tonight, Sam will be on JD Rosario's live stream. We'll be sharing the link out so you guys can check it out.
What is
Definitely
his
check that
channel?
out.
Does he have a channel? Does he have a channel?
Yeah, I think it's a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's got a YouTube channel. And so yeah, so definitely check that out. He's going to be giving stuff away on the show tonight, so you want to be one of the first ones to pledge, because
Word.
that's going to be a good time. And JD's a cool dude, cool guy.
Really
He's
cool dude. We had him on the show,
yeah,
and we
awesome
hit it off
awesome
with
dude.
him, and I was like, man, I said, I don't know how it passed. We met, we
Yeah,
never met at
yeah,
in New York, and
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, he's a really cool guy.
yeah. Hardworking dude. Unstoppable Comics. Check him out. Definitely
I'm
check that out.
unstoppable.
That's right. And then tomorrow, obviously, tune in for another episode of Catch the Craze tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. It's not live. It is pre-recorded, so
Tomorrow's Friday.
tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, bro. Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend's here, son. So yeah, so that's what's going on, and then obviously next week we'll be back for some more shows for you. So yeah, enjoy the weekend, everyone. Thank you
Yeah,
for tuning in.
exactly. And again, remember, if you're watching this stream, if you back the nail in my toilet during this live stream, you'll get a free bookmark added to your basket. And if you already backed it and picked up Aichiwawa issue number 1, you can add now Duty's Monsters to the T. I unlocked it. So Duty's Monsters is available. So you might want to go back and add that to your basket. You can get the single cover or all 3 covers. And so for every 10 new backers that pick up Duty's Monsters, you will go into a drawing for a prize. So and we'll do it live on Cast the Craze podcast. So a lot of incentives, and then look for an update today because I'm doing a monster collection, a monster bundle specifically about monsters and it's gonna be a special. So check it out. I got some cool stuff planned for you guys. Again, there's an alien in my toilet on Kickstarter. I don't even have the link. Here's the link. I didn't even put a link in the damn thing. The link's in the link is in the summary, and it's right here in the chat. There it is. Bang. So yeah, so it was a good morning, good conversation. Right, Georgie Porgy put him by?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I saw Dan was on there. Brandon was in there. I don't know if anybody else was in there, but yeah, good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back next Thursday.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. This was another episode of the Morning Brew. Peace.